Okay, so welcome to this Hathor Goddess Journey ceremony. I'm Ashley Sunshine, and I'm so excited to be hosting again. It's been probably 6 months since I've hosted something. I just gave birth to a baby girl 3.5 months ago. And yeah, I'm just really fresh out of this portal, and it feels so humbling to return back to service of the goddess. And my goddess service started around 11 years ago. So I'm trained as a yoga teacher, as a meditation guide, and as a spiritual coach, um, and other things too, a massage therapist. I'm like a woman of many interests and passions. And one day, 10 years ago, when I moved to Tel Aviv, Israel, which I had no connection to Israel before that, I was not, um, I'm not Jewish, nothing like that. But I was called to that land. And when I arrived there, there was this thread on Facebook that people wanted a women's circle. And I didn't even know what that was at the time. But I just felt this urge, like the call of spirit to volunteer to run this women's circle that like 40 something women had voiced that they wanted, but there was nobody who stepped forward to guide. So I stepped forward to guide and like I just did it. I just said, you know what? Fuck it. Like I'm going to do this thing. And I literally looked up on Google 10 years ago how to run a women's circle. I took notes and I had been trained in meditation and yoga, so I knew how to hold space. I knew how to show up. And so I had this list and I showed up. 8 women came. It was a free circle. We did it on the beach. We practiced a little yoga before. And then we went into this incredible ceremony and we were all so deeply touched by the goddess in a way that we weren't expecting at all. And it was from then forth, I decided to create moon circles every single month for the full moon. We would meet on the beach. The community grew from those first 8 women to over 2,000 in the Facebook group now. Um, and from there, my business really grew. My soul's purpose was becoming more and more clear. I was filling up programs. I was being asked to collaborate on different projects and different things. I collaborated with 4 other women, and we created something called the Red Tent Retreats in Israel. And we had 4 annual retreats, 4 years in a row, and it grew up to 90 women in the retreats. And it was just, yeah, absolutely incredible and such a journey. And so now looking back, I'm seeing how much the goddess has touched me in my life and how much it wasn't planned. It wasn't mental, it wasn't logical. It was really spirit led and guided by my heart. So I'm here to share that with you, and that's what this ceremony is all about. And my intention is to create these ceremonies to connect to different rays of the goddess every month. And so the goddess, in my definition, is the feminine emanation of the soul. So the soul head, the Godhead, the stillness that is within, that is eternal, that lies beyond all the temporary. This I think of as God, or like Shiva, or the divine masculine, kind of this principal point of like the explosion point, right? And then the what brings that soul, that spirit, that life force into life, into animation, that is the goddess. So it's just the divine feminine energy that is flowing through us all, that birthed us through our mother's womb. And then we have these different goddesses that are like the rays of the different colors, frequencies, shapes, textures of the animate force from the Divine Mother. And so Hathor is one of those rays. Um, she's a space holder for one of those rays. And so there's many different space holders for all these different rays. And so my intention with this ceremony is to begin kind of that process of giving us space and time to go on a journey and feel what that ray has to offer us in our lives, and to feel any messages that the goddess has for us. Because I believe that when we surrender the logical, when we surrender the goal oriented kind of like masculine structures that have been overlaid onto our consciousness through living in this in society, we actually are guided by this divine feminine life force. And so when we quieten, we can listen. So this ceremony intention is to quieten, to listen, and to explore the void of what the goddess has to offer us. So we're going to begin with a little centering guided breath work and meditation and invocation of the goddess. If you brought, so I will introduce a little bit about the blue lotus, or rose as well. Those are the two like flowers of Hathor and the ancient Egyptian priestess arts. So if you would like, you can go ahead and put a drop. I saw that you were already rubbing yourself out, Joanne, but if you want to, yeah, just put some oils and just smell it and just start to like set the tone of your space, that this is a sacred space where the goddess is welcome, where we're putting aside our plans, our egos, just for a moment, just for this time, to make space for the soul, to make space for the goddess. And I really love doing the temple hands. So you put your thumbs into your hands to make a space for your nose. And then you place your nose inside and take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, bringing the hands together at the heart. And you can do that 2 more times, the temple hands. And placing your thumbs at your heart center, closing your eyes if that feels good. Relax your shoulders, your face, your hips, your pelvic floor. Just setting your intention to make space for the goddess for this next 50 minutes together. Softening your crown chakra, softening your shoulders, softening your hips, your knees, your feet, your toes, feeling the spaces between your toes. And then go ahead and interlace your fingers and turn your palms up to the sky, stretching your arms up, 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 look up. And then a little stretch to the right. And back up, and a little stretch to the left. And back up, and then stretching those arms out and open and down, opening this space. Let's take our shoulders up to our ears, big breath in, shoulders down the back. The body is the vehicle to hear the call of the goddess. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale. The breath provides the highway. So let your breath open up the highway to the goddess as you roll your shoulders one more time. And then go ahead and shake. So just shake your hands, shake your shoulders, shimmy your shoulders, shake wherever feels good for you. I'm sitting on a ball right now, so it's really easy to shake my booty. Just shaking off your day, shaking off any preconceived notions, shaking off the logical mind. Shake your fingers, arms, hands, wrists. Keep shaking shoulders, hips. Shake one leg if you can, one foot. Ah, good. The other leg, other foot. Big deep breath. You can let out some sound through the mouth. Oh, 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 oh. Take one more breath here with some sound if you like. One last shake. Shaking off any burdens that you might be carrying. And then coming into center stillness, connecting into the center point of your body. So I invite you to rest in this moment. Finding a place in the core of your being. Riding the highway of the body into the soul spark. So however close you can get to the center of your being. And we'll just practice a few rounds of deep breathing to let go even more layers of the mind. to come even deeper into the body. So we're going to inhale through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in through the nose. Fill the belly, ribs, chest, throat, out the mouth. Empty, empty, empty. Press the belly button in. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly presses in. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Through the nose, out the mouth. Through the nose, belly, ribs, chest, out the mouth. Belly, ribs, chest. Okay, we're going to pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. No breath. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. No breath. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Big breath in, as big as you can. As much air as you can get into your lungs, and then hold it. Sip another little air in. Hold. Enjoy the stillness. And exhale. 4, 3. Push the air all the way out. Empty, empty, empty. No breath. Just for a moment. Feel what it's like to be in the emptiness. The empty vessel, open to receive the goddess. And whenever you need to, just gently breathing and returning to that beautiful wave of your breath. Let it wash through your body, cleaning you from the inside, feeling your water body ebbing and flowing. Feeling your own inner smile at your aliveness. You're here, you're alive. Your journey and your path is uniquely yours, and the journey you have ahead is uniquely yours. And opening for this moment the door to the goddess, to the infinite possibility of this reality, the quantum field of infinite. And as we sit on our thrones in the quantum field as creators in the image of God, Goddess, we're going to call in the presence of Mother, Father, God. Thank you so much for this space. Thank you for the possibility, the opportunity to come together as women, seeking guidance, putting our egos at the door so that we may be guided by your magic, that we may be continuously surprised and delighted by your miracles and mystery. May we open our hearts to the beauty and joy of this life while simultaneously holding the pain that this inherent human experience is. Please grant us the grace to hold both. And we're going to call in our guides and protectors, our angels, your ancestors, calling them in to surround you in circle now. We're going to call in the 4 directions. To the north, White Buffalo Woman, and the star grandmothers, she of 1,000 clouds and thunder beams. Thank you for beating your drum to the rhythm of our hearts. Thank you for helping us clear the space of anything that's no longer needed, anything that might interfere with our process. Thank you for your magic and wisdom on the land, of the land, with the land. And to the northeast, calling in Isis, she of 1,000 names, a great mother archetype, to open up her golden wings over this space and clear, release, delete any low vibrational frequencies that are in this space. And using her golden wings to wrap us in a hug of love and golden light. Thank you, Isis. And to the east, calling in Hathor, she of 1,000 voices, and the Hathor Star Nation, for reminding us that we have the power of quantum transportation, quantum travel, quantum knowing through our electrons. May you help us be aware of our electrons. And thank you, Hathor, for the power of the voice, for commanding our reality into existence, for reminding us that we create through the power of our voice. Our word is good, our hearts are pure. And from the southeast, green Tara, Om Tare Tutare Tore Soham, Om Tare Tutare Tore Soham. She of 1,000 stars, for activating the tree of life inside of us, rooting us deep into the earth, extending our branches up towards the sun and out to give freely to those we're here to serve. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the south, calling in Mother Mary, she of 1,000 roses, bringing her motherly love and warm blue hug, admiring us for the perfect babies that we are, for the perfect star children, earth children that we are. To the southwest, Mary Magdalene and the Order of Magdalena and Yeshua, she of 1,000 angels, bringing her fleet of angels to surround this circle space, to remind us there's an angel for everything, to support us in our priestess mission on earth, to anoint us with the sacred oils of love. To the west, Kuan Yin, she of 1,000 waters, we ask for your support in holding our inner child, bringing our inner child to this circle, and washing your healing waters over our inner child, giving her everything that she might not have received that she needed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the northeast, the Sophia dragons, the golden dragons, she who births sovereign creators, swirling around us, giving us our own dragon suits. Thank you, thank you, thank you for reminding us that we are sovereign beings here to birth more sovereign beings. Feeling your own womb, your own power of birth within and around you. Taking another nice deep breath and just receiving all that love of all these forces and goddesses and powers around you, that you're sitting on your throne in the center of this circle, so beloved, so beautiful, in the perfect emanation of the goddess, your own lips, your own eyes, your own hair, your own fingers and toes and fingernails, in the perfect emanation of the goddess, your belly button, so perfect and whole and holy. Taking another nice deep breath. Welcoming yourself as an emanation of the goddess, as a perfection of the goddess herself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So taking a little sip of water just to come back for a moment. So we're going to talk a little bit before we go into a little more ceremony. So I love that this is a private ceremony right now. And if you ever want to share anything, feel free. And if you even want to just say it out loud or type it in the chat, you're so welcome to. Okay, so I felt really called to do this because of the power of midsummer. So we honor the solstices and the equinoxes, and we honor the wheel of the year. So there is a midsummer holiday in the wheel of the year. But I feel like there's so much emphasis on the solstice and equinox, but and of course the solstice is the longest day of the year, but there's some but it's not the hottest, right? Like the hottest time of the year is actually midsummer. And this is the time where our creative power is really at its like most ripe. So there's something in me that really wants to honor this midsummer process. And it just so happens that right before this new moon midsummer period, which the new moon is in a week from today, the Mercury retrograde begins. And the Mercury retrograde is a time where systems kind of break down, where technology has a lot of glitches, where the logical and the planned and the things that make sense no longer make sense. So it's the perfect time to make a lot of space for soul and to quiet down, to listen and to surrender to to what we actually want to create that is beyond logical, that doesn't exist yet. It's a time for the visionary. It's a time for it not being proven yet. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm willing to go first. I'm willing to try because I trust the goddess, because I'm held constantly. Aura's joining us. I'm going to let her in. Um, so, so this is the time for active surrender and the time for following and trusting our impulses. So we're going to spend a little bit of time in the next kind of portion of our guided experience, really tuning into what our sacred impulses are. And so Hathor is just like such a perfect goddess for this time because she is the cow goddess. She was a great teacher of Isis. Okay, so a little bit about Hathor. Okay, so she was one of the oldest revered goddesses in Egypt. There's a temple, the Temple of oh, I forgot the name of the temple, but I will write it in the email follow up. But her temple, it's still standing actually, was one of the most popular temples where they would worship and honor Hathor with the act of dancing. So that's why we opened up this call with a dance. And actually, I always open my calls with dancing because it's just that's how we receive the messages. But really, they worshiped and honored her through dancing because they honored the body as the seat of creation. And so if we could invite her in, we would have more fertility. If she would take up residency in our body, if we would connect to this emanation of the goddess, we would have more power of creation. We'd have more power of conviction. We'd have more power of persuasion, of influence in our communities and in our families and in our fields. So, so she was super honored from being a embodiment of both the maiden and the mother. So if you know, she has the cow horns above her head, and above that is the image of the sun, a circle. So she is in divine relation with the god of the sun, Ra, and she was also the mother, said to be the mother of the sky. So she was like the great mother of all. And if you take that even deeper, which this was my own kind of message that I received, is that she was the goddess of the Milky Way, that she birthed this whole galaxy into existence through the power of her milk. Okay, so I'm going to get deeper into that. And I'm breastfeeding at the moment. So that, like, this has been a huge understanding for me in my breastfeeding journey of like the marriage of the maiden and mother. So the maiden, we dance to honor the maiden. We dance to bring in the vital energy into the body, to honor ourselves as beings of pleasure. Dancing also helps to release sexual shame, release shame in being sensual and sexual creatures, just like all of nature is inherently sexual and sensual. And this is the essence of the maiden, that the maiden is this like open book, this sensual body. And so as I'm speaking this, just feel the maiden within you, the curious, pure, innocent, and he had what's the word? Hedonist, the hedonist maiden. Like she's seeking pleasure. She's curious about this, curious about this. She's not tainted with a lot of fear, with a lot of hesitation, with a lot of self-doubt. She's like in it to win it. Like, I want to experience that. I want to experience that. I want to experience that. And so this natural urge that we have of what we want to experience, this is part of the maiden energy. And then like going out there and experiencing it and experiencing pleasure from what we're curious about. And we also have the dark nights of the soul that come with the maiden journey, and the pain that we experience through being curious. But as we stay anchored into the maiden, we don't allow the pain or the past experiences that were necessarily negative to affect us. Okay. And that comes with like more of the crone wisdom, the third phase of being able to look back and say, oh, actually, every difficult experience that I had was for me, not happening to me, right? That's the crone wisdom. So it's a little bit beyond the scope of this conversation, but when we bring that wisdom into it, it's like, oh, we are safe to return to the curious and pleasure seeking part of ourselves. Okay. So the maiden embodiment of the pleasure, receiving pleasure from ourselves, from our bodies, and from the external, and specifically from the masculine energy, this actually supports the nourishment of life. So the maiden, the dancing, then the mother, right? The fullness. Like, I have been full of so much pleasure, so much joy, so much support from all of that searching that I did, from all the curiosity that I embodied. And I'm so full of that. Now I'm ready to birth. Now I'm ready to sit in stillness with it and feel my fullness and what wants to come through me. And so I just want to invite us to take a moment to, even if there's like shadows in your past or ghosts in the closet, skeletons in the closet, that we can be filled up in this moment by all the experiences we've been through in the past. That you get to own and claim all of your adventures, all of your journeys as a maiden. And you still have that. We still carry the maiden into elder. It's not like one or the other, which is like, so, it's so like, okay, now I've left the maiden phase and now I'm in the mother. I really don't agree with that, right? We always have access to all. And so as the mother, though, we get to honor all that we've experienced and received as a maiden. And like, what an adventure it's been. And if you want to take this a step further and like actually like journal about that and write out your like key moments of your maiden journey and like these incredible adventures that you've been on and what you've received from them. And even if you want to go even deeper, you look back at the harder moments of your life. I'm a maiden. Ara, tell me more. What do you mean? How are you? Yeah. So you can take it a step further and look at the shadows and skeletons in the closet and ask, how is this a gift? Right. And that's the real deep work of the goddess in order to like step into our priestess path to really truly be able to serve. So as we step into the mother, we're full of all these experiences and we're ready to birth something, whether that's a child, whether that's a business or a project or a piece of art or a class or a ceremony or whatever it is. It's like we're honoring all that we've been through to then birth. And after the birth, the mother steps in to protect. And this is where the mother is also in masculine energy. And Hathor does have this very fierce masculine energy of protection, of even like sacred rage, to say, no, like this is my sacred bubble of me breastfeeding my child. This is the sacred bubble of me, nurturing my space, that I know my boundaries and I'm so clear about my boundaries. So I know how to say no. This is the power of the mother. And like, if you've ever seen that, story about the mother lifting a car up off of her baby that got crushed by the car and like saving her baby's life, it's like the mother has this incredible power to protect what she has created. And so as we release the skeletons from the past, we like, because there's external forces that we need to protect our creations from. And there's also internal forces that we need to protect our creations from. And those internal forces are self-doubt, our, fears that what happened in the past is going to repeat itself. So self-sabotage. And so by doing that work of reckoning with the past and receiving the gifts from the past, we protect our creations from any of those internal forces. And Hathor is so incredibly good at this, like shining that light of the sun on all those things to fiercely protect her creations. So thank you, Hathor, for bringing us this beautiful merging of the maiden and mother. And so the other part about the protection of the mother is the pleasure. So in order to continue nourishing our sacred projects, our babies, our businesses, whatever it is that we want to create as the mother, when we dip back into the maiden and get back into the pleasure of dancing, of experiencing, of curiosity, of adventure, we nurture our babies even more. And this was the big message that I received from the milk goddess that I'm embodying on this breastfeeding journey. Receive pleasure, receive support from your partner, from the divine masculine in your life. And it doesn't have to look like a partner for everyone. But in order to actually help myself physically produce more milk, I need to receive pleasure. In order to produce more sustenance and nurture for what we have birthed, we welcome in and invite in pleasure and receiving from the sacred masculine. Okay, so there's so much more to say about that, but I'm going to respect our time, and I'm just going to read an unmarried woman. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you, Ara, for sharing. Yeah, maiden could also mean before you get your period. It could also mean like a virgin. There's many different meanings. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. So one of the things I was shown, which is this is so like it felt so random, but I was shown the power of the praying mantis, and that praying mantis is one of Hathor's messengers. So if you see a praying mantis, that's what I believe to be a sign from Hathor and a connection to that specific ray of the goddess. And when we see a praying mantis, it's reminding us of the power of stillness and the ability to receive. The other attributes of the praying mantis, I actually looked it up. I was like, what even does the praying mantis mean? But it actually fits so beautifully, because as we become still and slow down within our creations, we embody kind of a spiritual openness so that we can hear the wisdom of our soul. And in this time of the Mercury retrograde, when these external constructs are kind of being broken down and we can take a break from them. And a lot of people view the Mercury retrograde as like, oh my God, so many things are going to go wrong. But it only goes wrong if you're trying too hard and moving too fast. And so that's where the praying mantis comes in, of the ability to slow down and receive the impulses of like, what do I want to birth? What do I want to create? Where can I be receiving more? What am I curious about? What am I interested in? What am I really doing here anyway? Okay, so there's this energy line that I was shown to help receive that, like to be that antenna. Okay, and the energy line goes from the tip of your nose up the forehead to the top of the head, down the back of the neck, all the way down the spine to the tailbone and to the anus. So there's this energy line, and if you tune into it right now, you can kind of feel the praying mantis, the shape of the praying mantis, like that. And so I just want to invite us to feel that energy line for a moment, and let's trace it with our finger. So if this feels good for you, you can do this practice of taking your finger tip to your nose and breathing in and taking your finger up to your third eye, and then exhale back down to your nose, and then inhale from the tip of the nose to the top of the head, the crown, And exhale back down to the tip of the nose. And inhale from the tip of the nose to the back of the head, the little like knob on the back of your head. And then exhale back up and down to the tip of the nose. And again, inhale, go to the base of the neck. And exhale back to the tip of the nose. And then inhale, just reaching as far as you can. You can even just do it with your mind's eye, but going all the way to the tailbone. And exhale all the way back up to the tip of the nose. So now that you did it with your finger, you can try doing it without your finger, with your mind's eye. So inhaling from the tip of the nose to the tailbone. And exhale. We're going to do this for another minute or so, just this breath. And so every time, even if you don't feel it, like just imagine it until you start feeling it. And with every breath, inhale from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tailbone, exhale from the tailbone to the nose. Softening that energy channel. Like it's unraveling, it's unwinding. Any tension that was in there is opening. Noticing any place where you feel that the energy might get stuck. And just maybe spend an extra moment there. Like I definitely feel the stuckness going like between my eyebrows and in my forehead. Maybe you feel in the back of your neck and you want to soften your shoulders down. Maybe you feel it in your anus or your low back. And as you open this energy, you're protected and surrounded by your guides and angels and ancestors of the highest benevolent light. You're rooted to the earth. And you come into sacred prayer. What are you asking for? What is it that you would like to receive in your life? You don't need to think about it, just opening that question as you breathe into this energy channel. What am I ready to receive even more of? Hathor is here with us in her beautiful emanation, that your voice creates your reality, that your voice creates your sacred boundaries, and your voice allows you to receive. And as you open the sacred channel, you get even more information about what it is to use your voice to receive. And we're going to go from here straight into chanting to use our voice. So I want you to keep feeling this energy channel. And we're going to chant ohms. So finding your own ohms. And if you want to just hum, you can. If you want to be silent, just listen, you can also do so. And we want to use the voice to continue opening this sacred channel from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tailbone. So if there's any movements you need to make or anything you'd like to do to open that up, you can. So just trust. If like you want to shake your head around, or if you want to do undulations with the spine, just trusting what's coming through, and we're not analyzing it. keep going and see if you can keep that energy channel open. Keep it relaxed while you use your voice. Feel your voice commanding your reality into existence from the heart, from an inner smile. Just noticing anything that's arising for you physically, mentally, emotionally. Traveling into the depths of your heart, into the zygote cell in the center of your heart, the cell that birthed all the other cells, the stem cell. And traveling deep into that cell and into those atoms inside the cell, the molecules and the atoms, and feeling an atom vibrating, an electron vibrating, spinning and swirling, and traveling that electron through your life, through the years that you've been here on Earth, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, to your childhood, your teenage years, your adolescence, your childhood, and traveling on that electron ship to your birth, to your gestation in the womb, to your conception, where that first cell began. And then taking that journey through the arc of your awareness, that you didn't start with your conception, that there was an arc that met your parents, but that you came from somewhere else, from lifetimes before, traveling back through your own arc, through past lifetimes, through the evolution of Earth, to the evolution of the solar system and the Milky Way, the galaxy, to a vast stillness, an empty, open space, with a single whisper. And feeling the pleasure of the gods and goddesses in that empty, vast, open space, and feeling the liquids of pleasure bursting forth in the creation of our Milky Way. And the Divine Mother of the Milky Way, this Hathor frequency, the cow goddess, partnering with the stars, Mother of the sky, looking upon her beautiful creation from her pleasure waters and her union, inner sacred union of feminine and masculine. And allow yourself to travel across the Milky Way. Just take a moment to explore this incredible galaxy and all the magic and mystery and infinite possibility that lives here. And feel the joy of the mother looking through your eyes, enjoying adventure and exploration in her creation, feeling her delight in your curiosity and adventure, and seeing the beautiful stars and planets and nebulas and the infinite possibility of what to see and witness and create. And seeing your own self as a star, as a pulsing star, finding her own place in the Milky Way, traveling on her own arc through her lifetimes and different planets or on Earth, through her own initiations with the goddess and the priestesses, and going into that first moment of Earth, the crystalline lake, pure water of stillness, and the movement of life as the bacteria formed and the algae formed and the seaweed and the terrestrial plants and insects, the sea creatures evolving over time to walk on land, and seeing this beautiful evolution and the stillness and the movement of Earth, the quiet and the life, and seeing the birth of humanity, the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens, and the spreading of humanity across our planet. And seeing all of the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things that happened with this eyes of the mother. That we love you no matter what. Humanity, we love you no matter what. Child of God, daughter of God, we love you no matter what. And seeing the evolution of humanity that brought your mother and father together. And using Hathor's blessing, the great mother's blessing, to heal any skeletons there, accepting completely all circumstance. Your beautiful self being born as a baby from your mother's womb, beloved in the eyes of the mother of the sky, beloved in the eyes of the cow mother, the Milky Way mother, delighted in her finest creation to date. And feel yourself as the finest creation to date. And that her even finer creations are moving through you. That she knew what they were when you were born. She knew the power that you chose for yourself. And so going through your lifetime, looking at it from the eyes of this mother of the Milky Way, every experience you had in childhood, adolescence, teenage, young adult, up until now. Let your body relax. Let yourself relax, knowing that all that is just absolutely beloved. And let her drip her milk onto you now, onto your crown. Receive the mother's milk. In continuing your path and opening yourself up to even more joyful, adventurous possibility and opportunity. Inviting yourself into the infinite possibilities of creation. Receiving the mother's milk. Whatever you want to do with your body to just receive, like open your hands or open your mouth or open your throat. Or hold yourself in a hug, or give yourself a little massage, whatever feels good to receive even more. If you need to open your heart, if you need to move, if you need to shake it out. Your creations are blessed. With the mother's milk, your path ahead is blessed. With the mother's joy in your creation. And she's always here with you. More milk is always available when you ask. More guidance and reminders are always available when you ask. We'll bring our hands together in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sacred Mother. Thank you for birthing me anew. And thank you for supporting me as I move through the mysteries of the earth plane. And we'll bring our hands from our heart to our third eye, honoring the visions that are given to us that haven't been done yet, and the bravery and courage that it takes, that the goddess gives to us freely, to step forward into the unknown. And we'll bring our thumbs to our lips, kissing our thumbs to our words. May our words speak of love and above. To our breath, reaching up to the sky and out through our actions. May we bring our visions to life through our actions. Arms come out and down. And we'll take a moment to rest and come back to the space. Taking a sip of water if you like. I just want to bring in the medicine of the blue lotus to the space. A medicine for our vision, a medicine for being brave enough to go first, of trusting the impulses and intuition of the goddess to be the evolution of the Milky Way, that the evolution happens through us, that our joy and our choices and our pleasure bring that evolution. So I had some journaling questions for us, but I will actually send those in the follow-up email, so that you can do that work on your own, and you can feel free to send me them if you would like. And so I just want to really thank everyone who came live and on the replay for being here with us. I want to open up the space for sharing. Just before I do, I want to invite you to a 28-day moon cycle journey of creation. So I decided that with myself, I want to challenge myself for 28 days in a row during a full moon cycle from new moon to new moon over the summer, to create every day. So that's mostly writing I want to be doing, but also painting, drawing, doodling, just making at least 1 minute space every single day for my soul. Because with having a new baby and, trying to do all the things, it's so hard to actually have discipline and create space for my soul. So I decided to open up this creative challenge slash devotional practice to my community. It's 28 days. It's $33. And basically the money, it's not about the money, but it's just like so that you have a buy-in, so that you're committed. So if you're interested in making more space for your soul and actually putting it to work and using this medicine that we received from Hathor today and putting it into action through creating a daily devotional practice to your soul, I'd love, love, love to have you in. And it's only 33 bucks. I mean, you can't really lose anything by joining. We'll have an opening call, we'll have a closing ritual and sharing circle. You'll get to meet amazing women and have an experience with yourself. So that's going to start actually in a week from today, for the new moon, and it's going to be that midsummer period from the new moon to the new moon. So if you're interested, I'm going to also send that out in the email follow up. You can sign up, and even if you just make it to one of the calls, it's super worth it. So I would love, love, love to have you girls in there. And let me know if you have any questions about that. And yeah, so thank you for joining. I'm going to stop the recording now. Bye.